Appointment types are at the heart of your practice. This is why we make it seamless to define appointment types by provider type, define the duration of each appointment type, what services should trigger an alert when an appointment occurs without an associated charge, and so much more. Since this is a pretty in-depth feature, we'll need to review a few related items as we go, so please prepare for a bit of jumping around. I promise it'll all come together in the end. So first, I'm just going to click on an appointment type that I created already, the adjustment appointment type. So first, we need to name your appointment types. This is the easy part, right? So if you need some examples, some common appointment types are adjustment, new patient exam, report of findings, re-examination, exit examination, or x-ray. Some clinics also create phone call, meeting, block, just to block a bit of time. So every clinic is different. If you want some guidance, please reach out to your onboarding specialist and we can connect you with a compliance expert. Next, every appointment type should have an abbreviation. So this abbreviation will be displayed in various areas throughout the system in order to make the most of a small space. One common example is the patient snapshot appointment summary area, and that is right here. You can see Charlie Brown, his appointments, and the appointment abbreviation. Oh, whoops. The appointment abbreviation is right here, so I can easily tell that this was an adjustment, this was a new patient, this was an adjustment. Next, you'll decide on the appointment category into which this appointment type fits best. Keep in mind, this has nothing to do with your reporting configuration. And that's set up under system settings, system configuration, reporting configuration. Only the adjustment, pregnancy adjustment, and massage appointment categories can be utilized within the ChiroHD scheduling app at this time. So keep that in mind. If an appointment type is categorized otherwise, it will not be available to schedule in the app, even if you select it in your app preferences. Now, the new patient category is used to determine which appointment type should be used as default when scheduling a new patient through the calendar and then new workflow. So my new patient appointment type in this clinic, I'll show you. I'm going to pull up new patient day 1. I have it set to new patient appointment category. So when I try to schedule a new patient, I'm going to click on the calendar and click new. It's going to automatically schedule the new patient day 1 appointment. Similarly, the reassessment category is used to populate the last exam date found on the patient snapshot. So if an appointment is categorized as a reassessment, I'm going to just select re-exam here. You can see, oh, whoops, I created that wrong, but I'm going to put reassessment there. Now, if a patient has a reassessment appointment type, it's going to show here on the last exam area on the patient snapshot. This is also displayed on the SoapNote screen. Close that up. Up here at the top right-hand corner, last exam. The laser appointment category is only used for a custom report in one of our franchise partners' networks. So don't worry about using laser appointment. Pregnancy adjustment is going to cause the appointment type to default as pregnancy adjustment if the patient is pregnant. So if in a patient's chart, this is Charlie Brown, if the biological sex is set to female and let me see, where is the pregnancy information? I'm going to submit that. That will expose pregnancy info here. And when the pregnancy info is filled out, it will cause the default appointment type that pops up when I'm scheduling this patient. It'll cause the default appointment type to be whatever I have set as a pregnancy appointment. Now, I don't have any pregnancy adjustment appointment set up in this clinic because I actually have pregnancy as a subtype. But we'll go into more of that in a moment. Okay, so we've covered appointment categories. Next, let's talk about provider types. When you create your appointment types, one of the required fields is provider type. So to clarify the purpose of this field, we need to review a former topic. In one of the first videos, we covered user types and provider types. As you may recall, calendars are attached to the user and associated with a provider type. So when I come into my ChiroHD calendar, or my ChiroHD location, and I create a user here, I created Dr. John Doe. I set Dr. John as a chiropractor, and I enabled the calendar, okay? And so that is going to create a calendar with Dr. John's names. Since Dr. John is set up as a chiropractor, only appointment types with the chiropractor provider type selected can be scheduled on that provider's calendar. So to clarify, you can see I have chiropractor provider type here. So these first several appointments are chiropractic only. So adjustment through workshop. And then x-rays and phone calls can be scheduled on multiple different types of providers' calendars. So this means that only chiropractors can be scheduled with chiropractic appointment types. Only massage therapists can be scheduled with massage appointment types. Only nutritionists can be scheduled with nutrition appointment types, etc. However, as you can see here in the phone call and x-ray categories, you can set it up so that multiple different provider types can be scheduled with multiple different appointments. So if an appointment type should be available on multiple provider types calendars, multiple provider types can be selected there. If you're ever trying to schedule an appointment on a provider's calendar and you get a spinning wheel, 9 times out of 10, that calendar is associated with a user whose provider type does not have an associated appointment types. So for example, I believe I don't have any nutritionists. Let's see. I'm going to remove nutritionist from here. Okay, save. So now you can see I don't have any appointment types that are set as a nutritionist, right? So if I create a new user and create a calendar as a nutritionist, select nutritionist. They don't need a login, they do need a calendar. Create that, and when I come back to the calendar, I'll see the nutritionist has a calendar. I'm going to add some hours for them. Okay. Now, when I click on this appointment type, I can't select any appointment types here. There's nothing available. That is because there are no appointment types categorized as a nutritionist. However, if I change that user to a massage therapist, and then I click on the calendar, the default appointment type for massage is going to be displayed. I can also schedule a phone call on a massage therapist calendar. So that's just a little tip to troubleshoot any issues that you have when you're trying to schedule an appointment on a calendar that does not have any associated appointment types. All right, so next we have valid charge types for health check. Valid charge types is used to determine which charge categories, as defined in your system configuration reporting configurations, should clear this appointment type from the appointments missing charges health check report in reporting, simple reporting. So in simple reporting, I have a health check feature, and this second one here looks for appointments that are missing charges. So it looks like Charlie Brown had an appointment on the 14th. It's a new patient appointment, and there are no charges associated with this appointment. So if I look at the new patient day 1 appointment type, it looks like the valid charge types to clear that from the health check are new patient charges and chiropractic visit charges. Again, if you want to see what charges will clear it from the report, it's new patient, and chiropractic. So Charlie Brown needs one of these or one of these on their ledger in order to clear it from the health check report. So chances are Charlie Brown just does not have any charges for that appointment, and a charge will need to be added to his ledger to clear him off. The appointments missing charges health check report is used to improve accuracy in your practice. You know, humans make mistakes, and ChiroHD tries to catch as many of those mistakes as possible. When a patient has multiple appointments scheduled on one day, we check to make sure they have a charge defined as a service on their ledger for that date of service that matches the charge type category for the appointment type. This way, if the patient was accurately charged for their massage but not their adjustment, the adjustment appointment will show on the health check, and you can easily add a charge to that date of service. Next, you have the length of an appointment. This should be pretty self-explanatory, but here are a couple of things to consider when setting this up. Again, if you want to schedule 2 patients every 10 minutes utilizing 2 columns of your calendar so both patients receive the correct start time in their text reminder, you will still set your appointment duration to 10 minutes. So for example, and I'll use 15 minutes in this example. If you have any appointment types set to a duration of 5 minutes or a combination of 10 and 15-minute appointment durations, you must utilize the 5-minute hour interval setting on every calendar. I showed this to you in the last video. Failure to do this can result in appointments being hidden as well as other unexpected behavior. So make sure that if you want to schedule 2 patients every 15 minutes or 2 patients every 10 minutes, rather than creating a 5-minute appointment type and just one column, consider setting it up the way that we did here. Consider having 2 columns available every 15 minutes so that when these 2 patients receive their text reminder, they're going to get the 2 o'clock time on their reminder, and you won't have any funkiness in appointments overlapping or anything of that nature. Next, we need to discuss the calendar and how appointments are scheduled on columns. So I'm going to come over here to my location, and I changed my calendar to look like this. So each calendar can be configured with up to 10 columns from left to right for each 5, 10, or 15-minute segment. That means that each time slot can be filled up with up to 10 scheduled appointments with the opportunity for overbooking if so desired. So each appointment type can cover from 1 to 10 columns in its associated time slot. For example, this appointment here, the new patient day 1 appointment type, I have set to cover 2 columns so that when I am seeing a new patient, I don't have other appointments booking on top of it, right? That would require me to overbook that slot. So for example, if your calendar is set to allow 4 appointments every 15 minutes like this one, so you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 appointment slots on Dr. John's calendar, but you only want 3 appointments total at any given time. So for example, let's say that you wanted to schedule a new patient here. So I'm going to select new patient, select a referral source, and I'm going to schedule that appointment. That leaves 2 slots in every 15-minute slot for adjustments. So if I want to schedule, I'm going to schedule Ellen, I'm going to schedule Charlie, and now I have 3 total appointments, 3 individual patients, but I'm seeing my new patient at this time, so I only want to see 2 adjustments. 4 adjustments, 3 adjustments would be too much when I'm trying to juggle a new patient. Now, if you are only seeing 1 patient at a time in any given time slot, you would set your calendar to 1 slot and set your appointment types to cover 1 column. For example, this massage therapist can only see 1 patient at a time, right? Massage therapists while they are magical and they have magical hands. They are not time travelers and they can only see one person at a time, right? So I'm going to schedule Ellen for a massage, a 60-minute massage right here. And now this is fully booked and I cannot book anyone else on this massage therapist's calendar. If you're seeing, so that's one patient at a time in any given time slot. If you're seeing 10 patients every 15 minutes, you would set your calendar to 10 columns and allow most appointment types to cover one column, unless you want special appointment types to cover more column. So again, this is how you determine how many columns an appointment spans. This new patient day 1 spans 2 columns, whereas adjustments only span 1 column. And let's say I wanted a workshop to span all columns, so up to all 4 columns. That would cause the workshop appointment type to cover the entire calendar. If an appointment is set to a 60-minute duration and set to cover 4 columns, it will cover the entire 60-minute time slot vertically and horizontally, as shown here. Let me show you what that would look like. Let me refresh since I made a change to that appointment type, and I'm going to schedule Ellen for a workshop. You can see that's going to cover all 60 minutes and all 4 time slots across that 60 minutes. So appointment duration and columns can be found under System Settings, Appointment Types, Create Appointment Types, Duration columns. So again, if you're here, you would get there from System Settings, Appointment Types, click on the appointment type and change the columns and the length of the appointment. Next, appointments can have a main color and a subtype color, which is set at the subtype level. We'll discuss this in a little more detail in a little bit. But for now, we're going to just create the color of our main appointment. So adjustments, our example here is a 15-minute appointment set to span 1 column. The left side of the appointment card, so the left side here, is going to display the main color of the appointment. If there is a subtype, the right side of the appointment, this little drop-down button, will change colors. Subtypes can change the color of the drop-down arrow box. You can also have subtypes change the color of the entire appointment. I prefer to leave the left side of the appointment color alone and just change the secondary color. This appointment has no subtype set. Please note that we do not currently offer reporting triggers or text reminders based on appointment subtype, so take that into consideration while you determine what is an appointment type and what is a subtype. Now I'm going to change this appointment. I'm going to edit it and make it a pregnancy adjustment. Now you can see the drop-down arrow of the appointment changed to pink. The left side of the appointment contains the main appointment color, which is the color I've selected for adjustment appointments, and then the drop-down arrow box on the right side gives a visual cue that this appointment has a subtype, and if I hover over it, I can see adjustment with a pregnancy subtype. It lasts for 15 minutes. All right, the next feature here in appointment types is eligible for auto-assign. Now, this relates to the calling module, which can audibly call patients back to an adjusting area when they arrive for their appointment. The calling module utilizes adjusting areas into which appointments are funneled as they arrive. Once an appointment is marked as treated, the appointment is moved out of the adjusting area and the next arrived appointment is moved into the next available adjusting area. One important note is that the calling module is unable to assign specific appointment types to specific adjusting areas. For example, if new patients are only assigned to the exam room, the calling module would not be utilized for that appointment type or that adjusting area, and the patient would need to be manually called to the exam room by a team member. The new patient appointment type in this scenario should not be configured as eligible for auto-assign. So new patient appointments, I would say, not eligible for auto-assign. That being said, if you plan on utilizing the calling module in your clinic, only appointments that are seen in normal adjusting areas should have auto-assign toggled true here. Lastly, we have internal appointments. Internal appointments are defined as appointments scheduled on the calendar as a means of reminding the clinic's staff to complete an action. This is a visit for which patients don't need a text reminder, they don't need a SOAP note, it doesn't need to show in your reporting. So some internal appointment examples include a phone call, a financial audit, or block. A phone call would be a visual reminder to the clinic staff that they need to call the patient at a certain time. Financial audit would be a visual reminder on the calendar to the clinic staff that they need to audit the patient's transaction ledger at a specific time. And then block would be a visual cue that will block the clinic staff from scheduling an appointment at a certain time. Now, once you have all your appointment settings configured the way you want them, don't forget to save your work. You need to click save every single time you make a change to an appointment type. Now, please note that if you create too many appointment types and you decide that you want to get rid of one, you can click on the appointment type and inactivate it right up here at the top right, set to inactive. And what will happen is that appointment will, let me refresh, that appointment will go away and I'll have to click show inactive to populate it again. I'm going to reactivate it. If I create an appointment type by mistake and I need to get rid of it, we don't allow deleting of any data as we are an electronic health record and we're legally required to maintain all information that has been entered at any time in the system, but you can merge appointment types. So let's say I want to get rid of this phone call appointment type. I can click merge and I can say I want to keep the workshop appointment type, and I want to merge the phone call appointment type into it. When I submit, the phone call will disappear and it'll just be moved into the workshop one. Okay, go ahead and pause and take care of creating your appointment types. Feel free to use the ones that we have here as an example to get you started.